February 1861. The United States teetered on the edge of a precipice. 7 states had already seceded. The country was fractured, and the looming specter of civil war hung heavy in the air. Amid this chaos, one man, Abraham Lincoln, was about to travel to Washington, D.C. to take the oath of office as the 16th President of the United States. But unknown to him, a deadly plot lay waiting in Baltimore. Men who despised Lincoln and everything he stood for were planning to end his life before he could even take the presidency. And yet, history was quietly being rewritten in the shadows. A spy, a detective, and a woman no one knew, until now, were about to change the course of history forever. Stay with us, because by the end of this story, you'll discover how a single act of courage may have saved the Union itself, and you won't believe what almost went wrong. Allan Pinkerton was born in 1819 in Glasgow, Scotland, the son of a co-opper. From a young age, he displayed a sharp mind and a relentless curiosity. His family moved to the United States when he was a teenager, and Pinkerton quickly adapted to his new country, working a series of odd jobs before settling into a career that would shape the future of law enforcement. He began as a locksmith, a profession that introduced him to the value of precision, observation, and security. These skills would prove invaluable in his later work. Pinkerton eventually became a detective, gaining recognition for his ability to uncover criminal operations and prevent crimes before they occurred. His reputation grew as he solved cases that others could not. By the 1850s, he had established the Pinkerton National Detective Agency, an organization that revolutionized investigative work in the United States. The agency combined intelligence gathering, undercover operations, and meticulous documentation, setting standards that law enforcement would emulate for decades. Pinkerton's life experiences and career achievements had prepared him for an extraordinary challenge, one that would place him directly in the path of a threat to the most important man in the country. In early 1861, Allan Pinkerton would face a situation that required not only his skills, but his courage, foresight, and ability to act decisively in the shadows. This challenge would bring him into the story of Abraham Lincoln and a plot that could have changed American history. The United States in 1861 was a nation on the brink. 7 southern states had seceded from the Union, and tensions between the North and South were at a historic peak. Abraham Lincoln, recently elected as the 16th President of the United States, had not yet taken office. His journey from Springfield, Illinois, to Washington, D.C., was fraught with danger. Secessionist sympathizers, political extremists, and individuals opposed to Lincoln's presidency saw the trip as an opportunity to strike a decisive blow against the Union. Baltimore, Maryland, presented the greatest danger. The city's population included a mix of Northern and Southern sympathizers, creating an environment in which conspirators could operate with relative ease. Intelligence later revealed that a plot had been formulated to assassinate Lincoln as he passed through the city. The details of this plot remain a subject of historical debate. Some accounts suggest that Lincoln was to be shot while transferring trains. Others describe more elaborate methods of assassination, including attempts to strangle or ambush him in hidden locations. Despite these uncertainties, Allan Pinkerton and his agents believed the threat was genuine. Pinkerton had spent years developing a reputation for uncovering criminal conspiracies and had learned to trust his instincts. He recognized that the political climate, the timing of Lincoln's journey, and the volatile nature of Baltimore created a dangerous situation. The assassination plot, whether fully realized or exaggerated, required immediate attention and a carefully coordinated response. The danger was not hypothetical. Pinkerton's investigation would soon reveal that Lincoln's life was at risk from multiple sources, and that any misstep could have catastrophic consequences. The stakes were not merely personal, they were national. Lincoln's survival was tied to the stability of the Union, and any failure to prevent the plot could have altered the course of American history. To address the threat, Pinkerton deployed a team of agents, including the remarkable Kate Warne, America's first female detective. Warne played a critical role in the investigation, using her skills in disguise, observation, and intelligence gathering to infiltrate groups that were sympathetic to the secessionist cause. Pinkerton and Warne's work involved meticulous surveillance, careful interviews with informants, and the collection of evidence that would inform their strategy to protect Lincoln. The investigation revealed that conspirators were organized, motivated, and prepared to act quickly. Pinkerton's agents gathered intelligence on the individuals involved, their locations, and their plans. They carefully documented each lead and verified the credibility of every threat. This level of detailed information allowed Pinkerton to assess the risk accurately and formulate a plan to ensure Lincoln's safety. The work in Baltimore was delicate and dangerous. Any exposure of Pinkerton's agents could have compromised the investigation and placed Lincoln in immediate danger. The team operated in secrecy, blending into the city and maintaining cover identities to avoid detection. Every meeting, every surveillance operation required precision and careful coordination. Failure was not an option. The stakes were extraordinarily high, and Pinkerton knew that the success of the mission depended on meticulous planning, quick thinking, and the ability to anticipate the actions of the conspirators. Pinkerton's approach combined intelligence, strategy, and timing. The agents identified the most likely locations where an attack could occur and developed contingency plans for each scenario. The operation was methodical, yet it also required flexibility, as unexpected developments could arise at any moment. Through careful observation and strategic maneuvering, Pinkerton and his team prepared to escort Lincoln safely through one of the most dangerous segments of his journey. When the operation began, Lincoln's journey took on an entirely different character. He traveled discreetly, using disguises and altering his schedule to reduce the risk of detection. The strategy involved sleeper cars, covert transfers, and carefully planned routes designed to avoid known threats. Pinkerton and his agents managed every aspect of the journey, coordinating movements and ensuring that Lincoln remained out of harm's way. The passage through Baltimore was tense. Each step carried the potential for disaster, yet the plan worked. Lincoln reached Washington without incident, a testament to the effectiveness of Pinkerton's preparation. The president-elect's safety was secured through a combination of strategy, intelligence, and the willingness to take calculated risks. Historians continue to debate the details of this journey. Some argue that Pinkerton exaggerated the threat to enhance his own reputation. Others assert that the danger was real and imminent. Regardless of the extent of the risk, Lincoln's survival allowed him to take office, pursue his policies, and guide the nation through the early stages of the Civil War. The events of February 1861 highlight the critical role of vigilance, preparation, and strategic thinking in the face of imminent danger. Following the successful completion of the operation, the story of Lincoln's near assassination spread rapidly. Pinkerton received public acclaim for his efforts, while critics questioned the accuracy of his reports. The debate among historians continues to this day. Some evidence suggests that conspirators were indeed preparing to act against Lincoln, while other sources imply that the threat may have been amplified in Pinkerton's retelling. Regardless of these controversies, the mission had a significant impact. It raised awareness of the vulnerability of national leaders and highlighted the importance of security measures for high-profile individuals. Lincoln himself acknowledged the efforts of Pinkerton and his team, understanding that the intervention had likely prevented a disaster that could have changed the course of the nation. The incident also brought attention to Kate Warne and the role of women in intelligence work. Her participation demonstrated that women could contribute meaningfully to complex operations requiring intelligence, strategy, and courage. Warne's involvement would inspire future generations of women in law enforcement and intelligence. The operation underscored the need for effective security measures and the value of intelligence-led planning. It also reinforced the importance of discretion and secrecy, as the public was largely unaware of the full extent of the threat at the time. The episode remains a notable example of proactive intelligence work and the impact that a small group of skilled individuals can have on the course of history. The events surrounding Lincoln's journey through Baltimore left a lasting legacy. Allan Pinkerton's methods and his agency's work influenced future approaches to protective operations for national leaders. The concept of a protective detail, intelligence gathering, and the use of undercover agents became increasingly recognized as essential elements in maintaining the safety of public officials. Beyond presidential security, the Baltimore Plot demonstrated the effectiveness of systematic intelligence work and strategic planning. Pinkerton's meticulous approach to investigating, documenting, and neutralizing threats set new standards for detective work in America. His agency continued to influence law enforcement practices and inspired the development of professional investigative techniques across the country. The involvement of Kate Warne also had a long-term impact on societal perceptions of women in professional and intelligence roles. Her success challenged contemporary norms and opened doors for greater participation of women in areas traditionally dominated by men. Warren's contribution to Lincoln's safety remains a milestone in the history of American intelligence work. The episode serves as a reminder of the fragile nature of history and the pivotal role individuals can play in shaping events. One man's diligence, one woman's courage, and a well-executed plan ensured the survival of Abraham Lincoln at a critical moment. The outcome of the Civil War, the preservation of the Union, and the future of the United States were influenced, in part, by the actions of Pinkerton and his team. History is often determined by moments that occur in the shadows, away from the public eye. The story of Allan Pinkerton and the Baltimore Plot illustrates how the foresight, courage, and intelligence of a few individuals can have profound consequences. The survival of Abraham Lincoln, the course of the Civil War, and the development of protective operations for national leaders were all shaped by the events of February 1861. The episode also reminds us that history is rarely straightforward. The exact details of the Baltimore Plot may remain debated, but the significance of Pinkerton's intervention is undeniable. His work set precedents for intelligence gathering, security planning, and the role of women in professional operations. The story challenges us to consider how many other pivotal moments may have been quietly influenced by those working behind the scenes. Ultimately, the tale of the spy who saved Abraham Lincoln from assassination is a testament to vigilance, planning, and the courage to act in the face of danger. It invites reflection on the delicate balance of chance and foresight in history, and underscores the profound impact that individuals can have when circumstances demand extraordinary action.